Yeah. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Russ, for allowing me to record. Today, we're talking about your training and how to ensure that you're breaking through your plateaus and that you're training for your goal.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to do like a guided conversation talking about the goal. And from there, we'll talk about how you're training for the goal. Okay.
All right.
All righty. Can you see my whiteboard here?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. I'm going to just draw some pillars, and I want you to tell me which one you fit into. Okay.
Hmm.
3 pillars here. Well, now this is 4. All right. We have pillar 1, which is your aesthetics. Aesthetics. Okay.
Okay.
We have pillar 2, which is your strength.
Hmm.
And we have pillar 3, which is your overall wellness health. Okay. When we think
Hmm.
about the goal that you're pursuing, right, how would you define your primary goal? If you had to choose one goal and you're willing to sacrifice the other two, which one is the goal that we're pursuing together?
That's a good question. Mm.
And while you're pondering that, let me give you some more context that'll help you choose. Okay.
Hmm.
You cannot have, if we think about all these goals as the apex of each corner of this triangle, right?
Okay.
You can't have optimal aesthetics with optimal strength and optimal wellness. You can have total aesthetics with limited strength and limited wellness. You can have total wellness with limited aesthetics, right? You can have total strength with limited aesthetics and limited wellness, right? And so let me give you some example. If you go aesthetics, you might go bodybuilder,
Hmm.
bodybuilder, you might go athlete,
Hmm.
okay? If you go strength, you might go strongman,
Hmm.
you might go, I'm sorry, this is bad, sumo wrestler,
I got you. Hmm.
strong, right? And if you go wellness, you might just go, I don't have to see my doctor,
Mm.
right? So when you think about where your priority in our relationship together, right? Utilizing both your activity, so your resistance training and your daily activity, plus your nutrition to achieve one of these goals, because we cannot have all three. Which one of these goals are you pursuing?
Good Lord, man. I think I'm pursuing aesthetics. I think
Yes,
I'm
you are.
doing that
Yes, you are. Okay. Thank you for being honest.
because I'm looking at all of them. I'm like,
Yes.
I want to improve strength, but overall wellness is that's the key. I don't want to be looking good and have high blood pressure and diabetes and everything else going on.
Correct. Correct. All right. So let's just say we want to be like kind of strong,
Hmm.
mostly aesthetic, and really well. So maybe we're like right here,
Hmm.
like just to the right. All right.
Okay.
I'm kind of aesthetic and I'm pretty well. All right. I'll look at it
Hmm.
like this. I'm kind of aesthetic. I'm pretty well. I'm kind of strong. Where's the
Okay.
middle point of all of this? Okay. Somewhere in
Hmm.
here. That being shared. So let me erase this so it doesn't distract us. I'm glad we're doing this because it's helpful when we think about how you train. Okay.
That's good. Okay.
For strength, your training will be near maximum. So 90 to 100% of your max effort every time you train. Okay.
Okay.
90 to 100% of max effort. So if you think you can do a deadlift for 1, right? And your max effort deadlift, you're struggling to get all the way standing in your deadlift at 180 pounds, right?
Mhm.
You're training within 90 to 100% of that, which means 170 would technically be 90% of your 1 rep max deadlift, okay?
Okay.
The rep zones for this are 1 to 5 reps. Meaning, if you are training in this low rep zone for strength, you are not training for aesthetics.
Mm.
Okay. So
Okay.
then you're doing strength training, which is wonderful, but that's not going to change what you look like.
Okay.
So then, how frequently do we do this type of training, right? You might think of this type of strength training as like, okay, yeah, I can pretty much get away with squat day, deadlift day, bench day, right?
Mhm.
Squat, deadlift, bench, or overhead press in there somewhere. It's pretty infrequent because you're giving it max effort and you need max recovery in between. So something like 1 time per lift per week, okay?
Okay.
1 time per lift per week would be strength training, okay?
Hmm. Okay.
All right. Aesthetic training is very different because we don't need to reach near maximal effort in the
Mhm.
slightest to change your muscle size. And when we talk about aesthetics, that's what we're looking for. Less fat, more visible muscle, right?
Mhm.
So to
Yes.
change your muscle size, we can kind of be anywhere between like 30 to 100% of your 1
Mm.
rep max, okay?
Okay. Okay.
When we think about what this means in terms of your rep scheme, this can really be anywhere between 6 and 30 plus repetitions, right?
Mhm.
In terms of the frequency, we kind of want to train every body part. So shoulders, legs, back, biceps, at least 2 times per week.
Okay.
Okay. Meaning if you do 3 or 4 times per week per muscle group, you are increasing your chances of giving your muscles enough stimulus to do something about the notice that you're giving them, right? It's like a reminder. The more
Mhm.
reminders you give your muscle, the more likely it is to respond to that, okay?
Okay.
So at least 2 to 3 times per week. But we start to increase or we start to add something called rate of perceived exertion
Mhm.
or reps in reserve, okay? Although we don't have to be at this maximum training level that we have to be at for strength training, for aesthetic training, we do still need to be close, okay? That means that if, so let me just see if I can scroll up. Oops. Scroll up on it thing. Okay. Never. Here's my whiteboard back. Okay. That means for, so I'm just gonna jump over here real quick because I have space.
Mhm.
That means for where in your rep scheme, whether you're doing 6 reps or whether you're doing 30 plus reps, where is the point where your muscle catches the attention that you're giving it and says, oh, Russell wants me to grow, right?
Mhm.
If you're doing a set of 30 and it's easy for all 30 repetitions, your muscle's probably like, that was nice, right? It has no convincing reason to do anything with that information. The muscle is stubborn. It needs a good reason, but it doesn't need a maximal reason. Okay. So then
Okay.
in a set of 6, maybe sets 4 through 6 are really hard, right? Maybe the last 3, you're like, oh, you had to squeeze a little bit to get it up. Perfect. In a set of 10, maybe reps 8 and 9 were pretty difficult. And maybe rep 10, you almost couldn't do, but you had at least 1 more in reserve, reps in reserve. Okay.
Mhm.
In a set of 30, which we probably will never do because that's a waste of time in the gym. You'd rather stay
Mm.
down here in this set of 10 to 15, right? But when you
Yeah.
think a set of 30, let's go to Fight Shape Fit, right? In a set of 30, we're probably doing knees with the little 1 pounds, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Think about that as a set of 30, okay? By
Mhm.
like 25, I'm like, that burns. Okay,
Mhm.
that's a convincing reason for our muscle to grow, right? When you feel the burn, when you feel pump, when you feel swelling, this is a convincing reason for the muscle to do something with this information. Hey, I need you to build up some metabolites in my shoulders. So I'm gonna shake it out at 25 because it burns a lot, and I'm gonna keep going because this is a set of what, 100,
Mhm.
right? All that to say, long-winded way to get to our training must match our physical goal, or we'll be frustrated that you're strength training for an aesthetic goal, right? And your
Gotcha.
nutrition in the same way. We eat for an aesthetic goal, right? Versus
Mhm.
eating for strength versus eating for wellness, right? The conversation that I have with you when you just want to be healthy is completely different from the conversation that I have with you when we want to look better, right?
Okay.
So let me pause right here. Thoughts, questions,
Mhm.
reflections about any piece of this?
Um, it makes. I think I'm probably straddling both of them because I'm probably doing more strength. Like when I do my bench press, I'll do 6 to 8, but I'm really training for strength most of the time.
Okay.
And then some like I think, and I'm mixing it up. Sometimes I'm doing strength, mainly strength. Then the other day I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do some lower weights but more reps. So I was doing lighter squats, but I was doing 10 to 13. So I
Mm-hmm.
was doing 3 sets. Is it 3 sets? 3 sets of those.
Mm-hmm.
It was less
Mm-hmm.
weight, but I was going down lower. And so I was kind of fatiguing myself out with that. I could get 10 of those.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think I saw somewhere about, you do less weight for muscles and strength is
Yes,
different. So it
it
kind
is
of what you said.
perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine for you to use less weight, as long as still by the end of that set, you have given your muscle a couple of convincing reasons to stay. We don't
Okay.
need to train for maximal strength, right? And for your bench press, I'd even recommend you try, right? So we should be cycling through different exercises every 6 to 8 weeks anyway. Your deadlift might be stale because instead of deadlifting, you need to be hamstring curling, right?
Hmm. Okay.
Or you need to be, Romanian deadlifting, right? You need to change the angle, or doing pull throughs on the cable, right? We need to change the angle, change the stimulus, and change the reps and set scheme, right? So for your bench press as well, instead of doing the 6 to 8 and those being relatively heavy, go for a set of 15 to 20, right? And do
Okay.
that for 6 to 8 weeks and then take your photo comparison. Okay.
Hmm. Okay.
But let's continue this conversation. If we want to check in, we certainly can in a couple of weeks just to see how all of this is feeling for you, how you're putting this together. I know it's a lot to chew on, but feel free to
Mhm.
send me an email or a message. I recorded this as well, so we can come back to it if you have any
Okay.
additional questions about this. But I'll upload this so you can come back to it. I'll send you the link here. Give me maybe to the end of the day today. And if you have any additional questions, we can hook up anytime. Okay.
Cool. Can I send you my workout plan? You can
Yes.
let me know. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'll do it. You can
Absolutely.
let me
Yep.
know.
Send that my way and I'll give you my feedback. Just email it to me, okay?
All right. Thank you, Kyra.
Thank you so much. You have a good one. I'll talk to you soon.
You too. Have a good Christmas.
All right. You too. All right, bye.